my commitment is to really help them help themselves.
Commitment in Afghanistan takes many forms.
Another IED.
Captain Kathy McCloud sees it on a very human level.
What we're about to do here is we're going to prep the leg. First we have to take it and clean out.
McCloud is a medical mentor at the Kandahar Regional Military Hospital, an A&A facility.
There's a break, the bone is kind of poking right there, the bone is just snaps.
She understands that what we see here is pretty vivid.
Pin it.
Stronger stuff than what most of us are used to.
This is actually very minor for what they do here. We've done multiple, what we call multiple trauma cases where there'll be more than one amputation, the belly wound, chest wound. Unfortunately, in a combat situation, you're seeing different types of trauma. So the operating skills for trauma is something that is needed everywhere in the world.
The Kandahar Regional Military Hospital has gained a solid reputation as the place to go when it comes to saving lives. All of the medical staff, like these surgeons, are Afghan. They've been working with U.S. military mentors since the hospital opened its doors 2 years ago.
I think we have some of the finest surgeons in Afghanistan, but I could be a little biased.
McCloud describes herself as a perioperative nurse mentor, giving advice on pretty much every level.
My goal here is to help everything become Afghan-led, to help the Afghan doctors and nurses and hospitals perform to the best of their ability.
Have you made any progress working with the A&P on scheduling a blood drive?
The hospital has 50 beds, soon to double. There's a lab and X-ray capabilities.
Lab and see how they're doing on the supply.
The Afghan Army facility is unique in that the medical care it offers is not only available to the military, it's also committed to taking care of the neighboring civilian population. The family clinic gets 50 to 60 outpatients every day.
Just the run-of-the-mill everyday type of pains or aches, body aches.
Little Abdul Rahman, he's been with us since March.
Humanitarian cases like 13-year-old Abdul are also taken in.
He earned money for his family by pumping gas, and when he got home after a long day, the kerosene stove caught him on fire. They've done a series of surgeries to help release his arms and release his chin to the extent that it can be. And he'll be ready to go home very soon.
What is especially valued is the 6-bed intensive care unit.
This is very important for all the south area, the south region. The reason is very simple.
Colonel Abdul Basir is the hospital director. He set up the ICU because here in the South, where the war is at its most intensive, there is a constant need.
A lot of patient is coming for the ID, bomb blasts, suicide attacks. That's same this issue. That you see, for this reason, the very critical patient. Maybe he's need the orthopedic surgery, he need the general surgery, he need the neurosurgery. This is the complicated patient.
Before you even turn, get everything ready.
On this day, there are 4 complicated patients, all civilian, all injured in blasts from bombs or IEDs.
7.
All will survive.
Okay, before you start the truck, what's the first thing you do? I wouldn't ask the Afghan soldiers to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. And if that included giving my life, I would. Show me how.
A year and a half ago, 27-year-old Michael Parnham joined the Army because he wanted to serve.
When you turn the key off in the engine.
A former musician back in Massachusetts, he wanted to change.
I worked in a restaurant. I was a musician. Wasn't really going anywhere, so.
He wanted to make a difference.
Yes, you should clean it. To teach them a skill that they will carry for the rest of their life. Anywhere past this line is dangerous.
He got what he asked for.
Absolutely, without a doubt. We train anywhere from 150 to 180 soldiers a week how to drive. We teach up-armored Humvees. We teach the Ford Rangers, the light tactical vehicles. We also teach the 7-ton medium tactical vehicles.
English.
For Corporal Parnham with the 10th Mountain Division's Triple Deuce Battalion, commitment is what drives him.
Some of these soldiers have never seen a vehicle before in their lives. My job as an American soldier is to mentor the instructors and mentor the soldiers. How do you know if it's broken? It's difficult to spend a week working with these soldiers, teaching them to drive, knowing that they will deploy to an area that is extremely dangerous and many of them will die. When you turn the key off in the engine, it turns this battery off, but this one will stay on.
He knows he's making a difference. He says that as far as he's concerned, this is commitment.
Though it's basic training, we're definitely making an impact. Sounds good. Thank you very much, guys.
You can't sprint your way through Afghanistan. These people don't mentally sprint. They view life in a lot different pace than we do.
Here on the windy high desert flatlands of eastern Afghanistan, everything is more measured. Patience and consistency are just part of the commitment offered by Lieutenant Colonel Robert Ault and the soldiers of Task Force BRAWLER.
Right.
We're outside the village of Logar. The people are farmers, and word is they're not particularly keen on having American soldiers around. We're allowed here, but not inside the village itself.
We understand that we are guests here. We very much understand that, and your points are very well taken. It's all relationship based. This is not our problem set. It's the Afghan people's problem set. They know better what goes into it, and any solutions that we're going to have are going to be Afghan-based solutions. We can help them with that, but the solution's got to be theirs.
No water pump.
The purpose for the visit is to check on some previously installed water pumps, a necessity in this arid region.
Oh, but this one's working.
The soldiers also look to reaffirm the connection between the village and their local government.
We have to help them help themselves is really what we have to do, because we're not going to be here forever. So they have to learn how to put in the requests through the government and get the government to do some of these projects that we've been trying to do.
The other big reason to be here
We want a good relationship.
is to talk.
Our relationship matters a lot.
In Afghanistan, commitment takes many forms, but in the village of Hashnagor, commitment becomes face-to-face. Logar province is a southern gateway to the capital city of Kabul, which makes it handy to the Taliban.
Very much a Taliban influence through here. They said that before the elections they had the Taliban come up from one of the neighboring towns and threaten them to not take part in the elections.
It's the ANA that will provide security to these people when the coalition goes away. The relationship between the people and their army is important.
That's probably been our real shining gem, is getting the ANA out and interacting with the people.
For Task Force BRAWLER, their time in country is almost over. According to Ault, the amount of progress that has been made and that which is still to come is a measure of commitment.
Commitment's measured in a lot of ways. It's measured in your ability to get out and have an impact with the people.
Yes.
It's measured in the amount of time you spend. And commitment is measured in the amount of risk you're willing to assume. I think it is a commitment.
The vision of long-term success in Afghanistan is becoming visible on many fronts, all equally important, each a critical cornerstone in a strategy of commitment.